Thinking about buying your first home in Louisville or maybe an investment property? Well, you've come to the right place. Today we're diving into how newcomers can snag their dream home right here in Derby City with the help of the Metz Group. Louisville ranks among the top 10 most affordable metros in the country, and there are so many unique neighborhoods to explore. To tell us more about the local housing market is the one and only B. Metz. It is so great to see you. It's been a minute since you've been on.
Yes, it has. Thanks for having me back.
Well, we are so excited to dive into this because I am kind of looking around at buying my first home, and it is just so overwhelming. You have your dream budget of what you want, and then you're looking, you're like, well, that's not quite updated. Why is this layout weird? I want this and that, and then you're going way over budget. So kind of tell us what is the real estate market kind of looking like currently in 2025?
Right. So in Louisville, I mean, like a lot of people will watch the national news and they'll hear, that the market's not where it has been, but I feel like here in Louisville and the surrounding areas that our market has stayed pretty steady over like the last year and a half or two. It was kind of a shocker when rates started going up and buyers kind of like put a halt on looking at properties. But I think now it's like it's a matter of just finding a realtor that's really going to help you strategically and then helping you find the right person to find financing. There's a lot of creative ways to do your financing. You can do rate buy downs and things like that. But to hold off until rates go down is kind of like a hindrance to you because if rates do go back down, housing prices are just going to go up, and continue to go up. And you're going to be in multiple offer situations. So it's really better, especially if you're renting, to go ahead and start looking now, getting in that property that you like. Kind of, if you do find one that's a fixer-upper, do put your own self into the property, put your own touches on it, and make it your own, and be paying your own mortgage and not somebody else's when you're renting. So that's what we've seen a lot of people that they've realized that's probably the best thing to do is don't keep sitting around and paying somebody else's mortgage.
Yes, and that's what I'm currently doing. And just to kind of look back at all that rent I've paid, it's sickening. Yeah. But that's what you have to do sometimes. And so that also kind of springs a question on too, because I've heard a lot of people wanting to just go ahead and build homes right away. You're seeing all of these lovely subdivisions that are popping up, and it looks like the prices are about the same compared to already built homes. So does it make sense to build then buy?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes building can be about the same price range, but you want to make sure that you're working with a realtor that's going to know the reputation of the builder. Sometimes for people, especially on first-time home buyers, it's a little stressful that you get in there and you don't really know what you're doing, so it makes it an uncomfortable situation. Most of the time, honestly, buying an existing home, as long as you're getting into the right property, can be a little bit less expensive than building. It's just one of those things that kind of just you need to work with your realtor and look and see what's really going to be the best fit for you. And it's a timing thing too. Like you can't just go out and build a new home in a day. Right. It's going to take 6 months to a year, depending on the size of the home. And a lot of the builders are actually even they're backlog. So you write a contract today, they might not even be able to start on it until the end of fall, October, November or something, and then it's 6 months after that before you can get in. So it kind of just depends on the timing and where you are in your situation, and then whether or not you can deal with the stress of building, because it can be a little bit of a stressful situation. So
well, even just all of those decisions that have to be made about things that you don't even think about, but then when the time is done and you get those keys, then you're like, oh man, I should have done this or I should have done that.
Right.
But being a first-time home buyer, what are some programs or maybe some advantages that people should kind of consider?
Well, a lot of people always look for like down payment assistance programs, and there are a lot of obviously lenders out there that offer those. That's one of the areas that you actually need to make sure that your realtor can hook you up with a loan officer that knows of those programs. Obviously, not everybody out there is a first-time home buyer, and they are purchasing another home. But there's rate buy downs to where you can actually get into a better rate. A lot of times you can get seller concessions that will actually help you buy down the rate too, or buy down the payment. So there's lots of different financing opportunities out there that help you keep the payment manageable, and that's definitely something that myself or another realtor is always going to have the opportunity to present a loan officer to you that is willing to work with you and help you find the right fit for you.
Yeah, it definitely is a process, and you need someone to really guide you that way, especially if it is your first time. But let's kind of flip this conversation. How do you address a homeowner hesitant to sell their property?
There's lots of people out there. They bought a home right around the COVID era. They like their property. Unfortunately, their family has grown. They never got placed back in the office to work. They found out they're going to work from home forever, and they may have bought a property that now just doesn't really fit, but they're hesitant to give up that 3% rate that they have. So
right.
It's one of those things you just kind of have to go in as a realtor. You need to do a market analysis on their property, see where where they're really coming from, if their family's going to continue to grow. We've helped people look at the cost of what it would be to, finish out the basement or add on a room. Is that feasible? Are you going to get your money back? So it's one of those things that you just kind of have to, again, look at it from a strategic plan and determine, is this going to be the right fit for you if you go through all this, construction on your home? Are you going to be able to get your money back? And then if not, then having a place that's going to be comfortable for you and your family to live is a lot more important than the rate. You can always refinance and get a lower rate. Or again, like I said, work with a loan officer who's going to help you find the right financing that will be a great fit for you and your payment won't be so high. So, and those kind of things happen. And unfortunately, then life also presents itself and you have those, situations where people don't have a choice but to go ahead and move because they're moving a job or something like that. So, but there's lots of people that are realizing that, we'd rather have the house the size that we need versus the low interest rate. So, yeah.
Exactly. So if people are interested in getting in touch with you or the rest of your team, how can people do that?
They can always email us or get on our website at metsregroup.com, or they can give us a call at 502-694-0523.
All right. Well, these were some great tips. I'm definitely taking some mental notes as you were talking. So thank you so much for stopping by. It was so great to see you.
You're
too. Finally back.
Thank you.
So again, to learn more, all you have to do is go to metsregroup.com to get in touch with Bea and her team.